Good morning, welcome to my live. I thought I'd come live today just to go with the flow of the energy, mainly to speak a little bit about the frequency, Starseeds, Galactic, information that is coming through, certainly today from Horace and my team. Often or not, I speak with them because things are coming into my sphere, and then I like to ask questions. So first and foremost, I'm going to speak a little bit about Lord Ashtar, and who Lord Ashtar is, and then I'm going to speak with what Horace has spoken to me about Ashtar, the Ashtar vibration, and so forth. So basically, just bear with me a minute. I'm just receiving something now. So we're getting R-A, yeah, T-H. Okay, so I'm actually getting a lot of information coming through. So, first and foremost, I know for a fact, and I could tell you this 200%, and if you even Google this, you can even Google this, that Horus Heru actually incarnated as Ashtar back in the Sumerian Mesopotamian era, god of war, and he's actually carried this energy throughout the ancient times as god of war. This energy aligns with Mars and Ares, and other aspects. So Ashtar aligns with the Mars and Ares energy back in the ancient pantheons and ancient history. So Lord Ashtar is the frequency of Heru. It also is the same frequency of Sananda, the same frequency of Yeshua, and so forth. So basically it shares all that same Akashic record. I've actually also I've spoken to Horace today. Is Ashtar, the Lord Ashtar, the same as the ET that comes in as Ashtar Sharon? The answer is no. The answer is no. Ashtar Sharon is not the same as the Lord Ashtar. This is where the confusion has come in. So I'm also then I got steered towards some of the galactic information, some of the galactic history. And the galactic history that I was receiving, some of the information coming in from the Andromeda. I was receiving information with regards to Great Whites. Who are the Great Whites? Some of the history with regards to Pleiades. I'm going back in time to once when Pleiades was an Earth, just like we were. It was a planet. Also Lyra, what is now we know it to be Lyra. That was also a planet. And I'm asking questions with regards to what many people have defined to be the Great Orion Wars. So there's a lot coming through, so I'm going to try and take it into one step at a time. So today I got some intelligence with regards to Great Whites, or the tall whites. Okay, so they're tall white aliens. So I'm asking, I said to Horace, I said, are they Pleiadian? He said no, they're not Pleiadian. I said, have they worked with the Pleiades? In history, yes. So I said, where do they come from? So he said they come through via the Andromeda galaxy. They come through that portal, through that galaxy, via that galaxy. I said, what are their purpose? And he said, throughout the history, they have been behind the creation of high technology. So I said, okay, is this what happened with regards to the Pleiades? Because I have been made aware for a very long time that Pleiades was an Earth, and that Pleiades imploded. Okay, so it just like that and became 7 stars. So it was an Earth, like ourselves. We call it an Earth, or a planet where there was what you call life, as we have life here on the Earth. That's why a lot of souls that are on the Earth at the moment, a lot of the souls on the Earth participating with regards to the ascension process, have a resonance with Pleiades. So, because from the Akashic field, and the more ancient that you are on the Akashic records, because I do the Akashic records, I do the ascension path, and a lot of galactic information comes through on the Akashic records when I'm actually connecting with clients. So clients will have certain lifetimes on in certain streams and certain galaxies and planets and constellations and so forth. So the Pleiades, what happened? It imploded. So what I had it confirmed to me that that the Pleiades were involved with high tech. Again, there was a lot of high tech going on, and I was also shown 2 years ago a high tech within the Pleiades, and trying to create and manifest a solar system, and it actually went wrong, and then it went pop. Okay, so. And what I'm getting was the tall whites were working with the Pleiadians. I then asked, is Ashtar Sharon, is he a Pleiadian or is he a tall white? I actually got tall white, and Horace actually said he's tall white. I said to Horace, do you know the entity Ashtar Sharon? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I then actually received some intel coming in with regard to the tall whites. They have been working with the Earth for a very long time. I've also received, it's like the wanting to, the desire to want to create a desired race. A desired race. And it means wanting to create a race that's set aside from the rest. So I'm then, okay, does this connect then with what happened in Nazi Germany? Yes. Okay, yes. And they're also confirming that they are working with the energy of the United States of America as well. So this is where I'm getting now, United States. So I'm saying, well, I said to Horace, is this part of the ascension process? No, it's not a desired effect. It's not desirable as part of the ascension process, because the ascension process is not about creating a desired race. It is there to be manifested from every single soul that's in incarnation at this time. So it's not a desired race. The ascension is for all. Okay, so I'm actually also receiving intel with regards to United States. I then asked, are there people in position, not just United States, but in position of power at this time, that are under the influence and being governed by by the Great White? I got the answer, yes. Yes. Donald Trump being one of them. Yes. Okay. Now, Great Whites are starseeds in their given right. They're starseeds. So we have to be mindful that we cannot. We have to be mindful that that this cannot be participating inside the actual ascension itself. Now, with regards to high tech and creation of high tech, it is okay in terms of the evolution. It as long as there is a balance, and this is what Horace is saying. We have to have balance, with high tech sciences and stuff like that, because even the Orion are very known to be the philosophers. We have great philosophers and great leaders coming in from the Orion that work in philosophy and science, and also other star nations as well. Pleiades as well works in that area, because obviously the Octurians working with the healing energies and stuff like that. So basically what we have to do is we have to work together, and this is why we're saying from the galactic point of view, it is about the whole and not about just one particular race creating that desired race. So this is what we have to say, right? Okay, from higher perspective, there's not a balance here. So we have to say, right, and this is where I'm saying, talking about my split on my last video, as we're ascending into 5D, we become more aware of the greater and the wider, and where people are getting stuck at 3D, 4D are kind of struggling. So yes, what we have is the politics and the technology and stuff like that is kind of evolutionary in its sense. It is part of our learning and our lessons, but is that part of the wider ascension of our soul? It does feed into that to a certain degree, but then we go into 5D, into the space of love. Because when we're working at 3D, 4D, or at the lower density levels, we're working in the space of law, we're working in the space of doctors, nurses, you name it. These are even, our daily jobs, any of our daily jobs, it's all part of the physical reality. So anything that's geared up to the physical reality, participating in this, what you call the earth plane, a playground of learning, that it forms part of our evolution and our learning to understand where that planet is at this time in the physical sense. But as we are evolving up to 5D and above, we then get the understanding of where that planet is from a higher density perspective. So, what we're saying is the whole of the planet has to balance. So when we got high tech, so we got cars, we got aeroplanes, we got all sorts of stuff, and high tech in itself, and this is where it's going. I think you have an idea where this is going to lead now, where you have a planet that is going into what you call high tech mode, and it gets too high tech and not balancing with the natural law, and it's the law of nature, and if it starts overriding the law of nature, such it did in the Pleiades, and Lyra and other aspects of the galaxy and the universes. We see it all the time. If it gets too high tech, it affects the climate of the Earth, the planet as a whole, and then that planet pops. So and this is where it's kind of leading me, and I've asked Horace, at this time, are we coming indoors to actually give a little bit of respite from the high tech? And the answer is yes. Because if you have a look what's going on, yes, we still have cars on the road, but cars are kind of reduced. So basically we've had a few weeks where it's kind of what you call, where it's up here, it's kind of gone down a little bit. So technically it gives the planet a bit of respite. So there's a whole lot of high tech. Now, I'm also asked Horace, Pleiadians. Are Pleiadians likely to react greatly to high tech, even to medicines and stuff like that? Yes, the answer is yes, because it will be something that could be contained or built within their essence that they are going to, object, hit out and stuff like that. So yes, Pleiadians will be what you call either at conscious level or at subconscious level fighting a cause. So technically, yes, that is the question there. So yes, they are fighting what's within themselves, fighting a cause. So yes, they are more likely, to be looking at conspiracies, things that are coming through streams as well. Okay, coming through streams as well. Whether it's true or not, that because conspiracy theory is to conspire to theory. So technically that theory is not neither true or neither is it false. It becomes a belief mechanism that the soul wants to decide whether it's true or not. So that's why I tend at 5D to try and come away from the conspiracy theories, because I'd rather see things from a higher perspective and not at a lower perspective, whether you're going into the belief mechanism, the searching mechanism, the human nature of wanting to search for some truths. So there is a feeling coming in. Now, I'm also going to speak a little bit about Ashtar. A lot of variations from his name comes from Ra and Sa of the Orion. So Ra and Sa of the Orion, S-A-H, and Ra. So if you turn the name the other way around, you'll get Ra, T-H, Sa. So Ra, and these are actually some of the variations that are coming through from his galactic name. And he has many galactic names. So as I'm going to go to Ashtar, he works with the Orion. I'm also when I speak to Heru, he goes, well, I've worked with every star nation. Oh, he works with every star nation, but his galactic name is Sa. Within this particular galaxy, he's very much aligned with the Orion Belt. The Orion Belt, which is the 42 Nebula Orion, that is also connected with the Stargate of Sirius A. He also works with different aspects. So from the Taurus side, now Taurus, this is where the Pleiades are connected to Taurus. They're in the Taurus constellation, but he's not Pleiadian, because Pleiades is not The actual Pleiades is not as old as the Orion within the constellation, because every planet has an age. So, Taurus, again, he works with Aldebaran, which is the eye of Taurus. And Aldebaran is the eye of Taurus, the eye of Archangel Michael, the eye of Horus, Serapis, Bull. So everything comes in as connected. So there is the connection there. There is also coming in with regards to some of the Sirius A. Sirius A is actually the God star, i.e. A lot of stuff takes place within the God star of this galaxy. We also have within this galaxy, within constellations as well, and I certainly know this from Leo constellation, certainly some of the zodiacal are entrances to other galaxies. Andromeda in itself is another galaxy. So we're in the Milky Way galaxy, so you've got Andromeda, which is another galaxy. So like the tall whites, they come via into this galaxy. So basically what we have is the universe as a whole, and we have within this galaxy, we have galaxies within the universes. So within this universe, we have quite a few galaxies. We also have portals within certain areas that takes us through into another system. And that also leads us into other galaxies, and within that are planets and life forms. So there's a lot happening with, in terms of awareness. So for those of you who are starseeds, okay, and really are resonating with a starseed, that means that you are ancient in nature. You have a heightened awareness because you are ancient. Newer souls will not resonate as much with the galaxies as such, mainly because the structure of the spirit realms, you have the spirit realms, okay, the spiritual realms, but tied in with that is people who have actually had lifetimes on other realities and other star nations and stuff like that. Now we also have ETs. Okay, there's ETs that don't have incarnations. Now the structure that we have in the spirit realms is that you have ETs that are not human or humanoids or human. So basically they have not had that incarnation as a human. And then you have humans that have had incarnations in other realities. I hope this makes sense. So within the Akashic field and within the spirit world, with the spirits, the world of spirits in the ethers, and this is where a lot of people tend to confuse the spirit and spiritual with the physical. Certainly those whom are working with the galactic energy, they tend to they're not kind of understanding that there is the ethers and there's also the physical reality. So basically they're looking at, oh, we want physical manifestation of, that's fine. And it happens. We have ETs, okay, and ETs have an agenda. I do spirit release. I do spirit release and spirit rescue, and that means I send people to the light, souls to the light, and I also release attachments as a healer. So if you're a healer, and certainly working in the master frequency as a healer, you then kind of understand spirit release techniques. So what in spirit release therapy, certainly from the healer's perspective, also going into spirit release therapy from medium perspective, and also from hypnotherapy perspective, okay, because hypnotherapies also do spirit release therapy as part of life between lives and past life regression. So technically there are three kinds of, in spirit release, there are three kinds of releasing entities that are to be released. So first and foremost, we have earthbounds. Earthbounds are people who have not crossed the light because they're not aware that they're past. They haven't finished business. They're waiting for someone, or they've committed murder, or they're religious and they're waiting for the Messiah, or they feel that if they're going to cross over into the light, they're going to be judged. And that is not the case, because judgment doesn't happen on the other side. Healing happens, and yes, you meet with your soul council and soul groups to discuss aspects of your incarnation. So, you know, as a medium, as a therapist, as, you know, somebody who does work in the field of spirit release and spirit so forth, I then guide them and say, look, you're better off going into the light, therefore your soul can have a lot more evolvement. You can meet with your soul group and your loved ones. You can discuss your current the incarnation. You can receive the healing. And if you decide you want to come and learn more, that's entirely up to you, because that is the soul's desire. That's the soul's decision. So technically, incarnation can take place on different realities. So we got earthbounds. We also then have what you call dark force entities, which are DFEs, dark force entities. They are lower frequency entities that have not had an incarnation as such, but they are lower density, 1 and 2 lower density. Often they are controlled by other forces, and when dealing with that, and if they're controlled by other forces, what we then tend to do in that perspective is remind them that they are being controlled. We then say, right, we can cross you over, you know, with our spirit guides, and you then can evolve from first and second dimension. You can have that opportunity to evolve and to grow. However, you know, there is a lot wider perspective. As a therapist, we have to make sure that they are going to where they need to be. So they are not incarnated as such, but they are there to cause a desired effect of chaos, fear, and so forth. We also then have ETs. ET attachments, and a lot of the ET attachments, a lot of people that they actually feel that they have an etherical implant, or they may feel they've got some form of banding going across here, and so forth. But within the ET attachment, we have 3 defined areas of ET attachment. We have the spiritual evolvers. We also have the information and data gatherers, because there are ETs are working with certain humans at this moment in time. They want to gather data. They want to work energetically with humans, and they're gathering information. They're gathering data. What it's like to be on this earth. These ETs have not actually had human incarnation as such. We also have the lower entity ETs, such as greys and reptilians and so forth, that do want to create some form of chaos. So basically, these ETs cannot remain attached to the soul. They have to be crossed over. Now, as a spirit release, with regards to the spirit evolvers, you say to the spirit evolvers, your time has now expired. You are not giving much. You're not evolving the client to the level that client really desires, because it's now affecting the client in this, that, and the other. That's why the client has come to me for assistance. So then you have to then tell them to move forward. Spirit evolvers will move on with ease and so forth. Then if they don't want to move on, then you go down to the next level. They are not actually spirit evolvers, they become information gatherers. So then you have to say, and often information gatherers are reporting to a control. So there's a lot of stuff that's coming through, and then you have to go through that process to make sure that they move on. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm fully aware with regards to galactics. And we shouldn't have attachments. Now, if we are evolving at above 5D, our frequency, our energy, working within the space of love and compassion, our energy, and we're meditating and we're working with different rays of energy. I mean, I work with Mahatma, so technically if you're vibing high, you will not have an attachment. And this is a thing. With all clients that come for spirit release, you speak to them about increasing their energy, increasing their vibration, because it's very unlikely that you will have an attachment if you are working in a high vibe. Spirit guides. Again, spirit guides are not attached. They don't attach themselves to your energy field. They are loving they're loving entities working in a high frequency. A lot of them can be very angelic. It can be very angelic. They will not attach themselves to your energy field. A lot of the spirit guides will have had past life connection to the galaxies. So sometimes I've had people say, oh, Horus is changing, because a lot of people whom I work with, have actually experienced Horus. And they've experienced Horus in different forms. I'm also been aware that he has galactic form as well. So basically, spirit guides do not attach themselves to you, okay? And the energy and the frequency that they come in at is extremely high. And you will often find when you're receiving downloads, whether it be downloads of energy, downloads of information and stuff like that, that comes in alignment with your soul, your higher self, and your spirit guide team. Because your spirit guides are there to monitor your energy field, to make sure that your energy field is receiving what it needs to receive. It's not going to be bombarded, okay? Because if you have a bombardment, then you can become imbalanced yourself. So basically, they're monitoring your structure, they're monitoring your energy, they're monitoring and protecting. So basically, once you reaching that higher level, certainly 5D, and I know a lot of people when they hit 5D, they go, oh, I was kind of connecting with a spirit guide here, So that is one of the first things that you do come across. Oh, I'm getting visions now. This is 5D. Working with another aspect is working with twin flame spirit guides, and I work with twin flame spirit guides. You as you working with a twin flame spirit guide, you actually become aware of your past life. And I'm not actually saying this from reading or going to a medium or anything like that, because that true connection with a twin flame guide, and anyone that works with a twin flame guide will say this, it is a journey, and they will show you what you need to know. Okay, what you need to know, definitely what you need to know. And that's something that Horace has taught me right from the beginning, is the Akashic records. Okay, and sharing me different visions, different stuff like that. You also are in that everyday contact with a twin flame spirit guide. And I'm going to say, yes, there's an awful lot of love that comes in from the twin flame spirit guides. Okay, an awful lot of love, a lot of protection, but most of all, it's not the love that is 3D in nature. It is 5D and above. The love that you have is boundless, it's limitless, it's unconditional. Okay, it's unconditional. There is no issues around trust. There's no issues around having lack of faith, worrying, or anything like that that one would have in a 3D relationship. You know, wondering what the other one's up to. There's nothing like that at all. So it is a purely spiritual relationship. And that's why I say with regards to twins on the earth, that twin flame relationship cannot truly manifest unless both in the physical are at that level, you know, that 5D level, because the 5D level is that the understanding is that they're one. Okay, they're one in love, they're one in essence, they're both equal, they're both balanced. So we're not going to get something like this or something like this, where the masculine's up here and the feminine's down here, or the feminine's up here and the masculine's here. It's like this, and it's like this, and it's one. Okay, so the balance of scales is absolute, as it should be, fully in alignment and balanced. And no worrying about what the other one's doing, you know, because there's none of this 3D stuff. Okay, I've, interestingly enough, in my early days, I was very much working on the twin flame energy, especially the twin flame in spirit, because that was coming in big time. Okay, spirit, twin flames in spirit was coming in, certainly for mediums that are working in the you know, mediums working with their twins that way. So technically, you got that. So I was actually helping people to understand what's actually happening. So they get physical sensations, touches, stuff like this, visions. There's also the spooning up from the guides coming in. I mean, Horace spoons up. It's that spooning sensation, which is the loving. A lot of signs coming in, visions, seeing their spirit forms and stuff like that. So technically, you know, it is quite, can be quite a something when it comes in very new. I'm actually, I want to say I like to answer all questions, but there's something that's just come up, and I'm going to respond to Stephanie. Stephanie says, I hear there are three types: karmic, mirror, and divine twin flame. I'm going to say it's not three types. It forms part of the whole, okay? Because I'm going to explain why it is part of the whole. Basically, the twin flames, we as beings, we are all working multi-dimensional. When you're working with your twin flame spirit guide, you become aware that you're multi-dimensional. Okay, and in your multi-dimensional status, you are working on all three levels. There are levels of understanding. So basically, as souls, as we are evolving, as we are growing, as we are ascending on our ascension path, going into the higher frequencies, we understand the areas of karma. So what does karma mean to you? Karma means the lessons that need to be learnt upon the earth plane. Okay? These are lessons, and I say it's also the law of cause and effect. So basically, as we are learning lessons, that our soul contracts that we have defined prior to incarnation, we've signed contracts. So basically, these contracts will require us to experience different experiences upon the earth. This is what our souls agree to do. We want to experience things in certain areas. So, you know, as souls, we've come down, we're experiencing now the coronavirus from different degrees of the coronavirus. We are observing, we are participating, whether it's experiencing the virus to hand or helping people to get through the coronavirus. By being a nurse, doctor, key worker, helping the planet to evolve. So basically, we're experiencing that. So in itself is a karmic thing. So how are we responding to the coronavirus defines our karma. Okay, this is it, and this is where the splits is about. Are we embracing the coronavirus with love and compassion and understanding that there is a wider perspective with the coronavirus, or are we reacting to the coronavirus by reacting to decisions, reacting to health organisations? Are we reacting to what the governments are putting out there? Are we reacting to people around us? Are we reacting? Okay, so technically, are we reacting with judgment of others? Are we reacting? So technically, what we have to do is we have to define where this karma is. Are we trying to say to people, please don't go into that space of fear, because the space of fear, it will enable you to react to situations and decisions and so forth. What is happening on the earth at the moment, sharing stuff that's of government affiliation, political affiliation, feeding into that matrix? Or are we going up and say, right, I don't want to be participating in a lower frequency that's creating a lot of karma around fear? Are we going up, and saying, right, I'm going to connect with my heart, I want to help, I want to be of service, I want to help people to go through this challenge as the best that I can do, the best of my ability, because if I put my love and compassion out there, I know the law of cause and effect will bring that blessing back to me in abundance. This then goes into the law of abundance, the law of attraction. So whatever we give out there, if we're giving out positivity, okay, you know, freedom, transformation, releasing, you know, this is, you know, this is, I'm following with what Stephanie's saying now. So basically we are, you know, we got to bring that into play. Okay, so there I'm going to speak about karma. That is the law of cause and effect. The law, understanding the law of cause and effect, and enables us to grow. So we have also mirrors, and I have come across my mirror on the earth plane, and yes, I work with the spirit, and I've come across a mirror on the earth plane, and believe you me, it's complete mirror. And unfortunately, because I work spirit, there's no understanding from the mirror on the earth plane with regards to what I do. Okay, so technically we are multi-dimensional beings. My path is spirit over matter. Okay, and it has been because I've had my Horus Gammas, which is a spiritual Horus Gammas with spirit of Horus. So that is another element of the twin flame spirit thing, is a Horus Gamos, which is the blessing. So technically you have a mirror. So the mirror is your polarity, and that comes in with the law of polarity. So my mirror on the earth, I know I'm 42'6", he's 24'6", he's 6'5", I'm 5'6". We've both have had our right kidneys out. He's in America, I'm UK. It's complete opposite sides of the earth. I'm actually working at Keter. He's working at the lower end of the tree. So I work spirit, he works matter. Everything is polarized, complete polarized. And I have then just received from Horus, yes, he's separated from me because there is a split at the moment because he's not in alignment. This is what we have to do. We have to align with our higher selves. And what separates us from our higher selves is ego. Okay, ego. Yes, he knows all aspects of his Akash, but there's ego. Okay, so technically we have to release the ego. Okay, and there's not much I can do for him on the earth, because, you know, as much as I can try, he has to decide to heal. He has to decide to align. He has to decide upon his own path and his own connection. So, you know, this is where we say, blessings, I need to focus upon myself and my connection, because my true spirit, my true twin is in spirit. Okay, my true twin is in spirit. And I don't know if you understand where I'm coming from, but this is what I say. This is the divine, because the divine connection is spirit and matter, and that in a sense is a polarity as well. So from my angle, from my lessons, from my soul contract, I've had to master spirit and matter. And a lot of mediums that are working with their twins are in that same kind of boat, because the divine, it is the divine connection that brings love to the earth. That is the divine connection. That is the one that brings forth the divine love and connection to the earth. Okay, it is what you call bringing heaven to earth. And often or not, we are also gifted, we're bringing the messages through because of our connection. Okay, and the blessings are in abundance. But their blessings that comes to us in terms of the blessings is not in terms of material form. It is spiritual. So when you look at the the goddess energy, you're looking at Lakshmi, okay, the goddess of abundance. This is not about money. This is not about monetary abundance. This is about spiritual abundance, because what happens when she's dropping money down? No, it's not about money. So, so basically, yes, the two people aligned with themselves come together in divine union. So each person is aligned with themselves without ego. Yeah, you're absolute spot on, Stephanie. They can also create their worlds, because then you become the creator of your own reality, creator of your destiny, and so forth. So technically, this is the twin flame side of things. So it is all about bringing in this energy of love and compassion. Okay. Okay. So fast. And another thing, right? Another thing. With regards, and I'm, I'm going to respond to Janine now, because that is so funny. I hope he's good looking. This is really. So basically, this is another thing, right? We all come in our walks and our talks and our physical outlooks. Twin flames, twin flames actually know, because part of our soul agreement, when we sit up on soul council, we're agreeing with our soul group as well, what we are coming down to the earth to do. We actually agree some elements of our physicality. We kind of want to know what we want to look like, and also our physicality could also entail us wanting to experience certain areas. And you see, the hoping he's good looking or hope she's beautiful, this has to come at soul level. This is not a physical outlook. Oh dear, it's not a physical outlook. And this is another thing I've had to learn, certainly with the earth plane, because with the earth plane, when you're shifting ego, okay, you have to set aside your expectations. Now, we all come down to the earth, and we are all experiencing different experiences, and we all have our baggages, and we all have our packages, and we all have had our experiences and stuff like that. And we all have our divine looks. Some of us are fat, some of us are thin, some of us are beautiful, some of us are not less attractive, some of us are very normal, some of us want to, we're all different. So, but at the end of the day, we're not to be judging another by their outlook. We are there to be looking at, to go beyond the soul, to go beyond that. And that is that's another aspect, and that could be a challenge as well, and also a journey of us evolving up into love and compassion, because when we're in love and compassion, we're not going to be judging the outlook of a person. We're going to be looking at the soul, because we're souls. So that is another aspect, to go beyond that physical and connecting with the spiritual. Okay, so and when I've seen twins on the earth coming together, And again, from the physical capacity, the twins on the earth coming together. Another thing is that soul connection, past life experiences come to hand. Because I'm not going to turn around and say there's one thing I'm going to say to you now, and this is absolute 100% fact, and I've seen this in twin flame groups. Some of these people will say that are working on twin flame energy, they say when you connect with your twin flame, that is your last incarnation. That is not true. Twin flames are journeying together. They journey together lifetime after lifetime because of the spiritual connection. Twin flames can't decide to have incarnations apart from each other, or they could decide to journey and follow that journey of making that connection. Well, we're going to connect, we're going to cross paths. Horace and I, every lifetime, we will cross paths at some point or another. Okay, some point or another, and I've known this for a long time because Horace and I have had this thing that we have got work to do. Every lifetime we've got work to do. So the more evolved that you become, you know that you've got work to do. So I'm going to say that myth is not 100%. Yes, twins can be on the earth. Twins are going to have their they're going to have their lessons. A lot of people come to me and say to me, am I going to meet my twin in this lifetime? I'm going to say to them, first and foremost, you need to connect upwards. Connect upwards, and often your guidance is via your higher self or your twin. That is often the case. And it depends on your soul evolution as well. Depends on your current evolution. Depends on your soul contract. And and I'm often or not, I'm going to say, well, not quite, because not all souls, not even all souls on the ascension path are going to be meeting with their twins in this cycle, because it's part of the lessons. So technically, there's a lesson about detachment as well. That's another area of evolving together as twins, that you cannot be attached. It's the attachment is another energy that we have to overcome, because attachment is an energy that is what we experience on the 3D level. When we are detached, we then realize that it's that everything can be anything. You know, we're not limiting ourselves to the greater possibilities. So yes, that is another area that we have to, as souls, have to overcome with regards to the twin flame energy. And this is interesting because I've come in now talking about galactics, and now I'm going into twin flames, and this is often or not spirit guided. So yes, there's a lot of stuff that we have overcome as we're expanding, as we're growing, and as we're coming together. So, you know, what I always say, and I try not put too much twin flame stuff out there, because it is a spiritual connection, and not to be romanticized as such. It's not the energy of love that's on the earth plane as we experience on the earth plane in our everyday relationships. It is a what you call the divine connection. So I hope I've answered that for you, Stephanie. The three aspects. I call it the three. They're actually the three aspects of one. And so you've got karma, you've got polarity, you've got gender. Everything comes into play with your true twin. Everything comes into play with regards to mastering the universal laws. Okay. Um, so, um, yes, the twin can be galactic, because it is. I'm now answering Stephanie's question. The galactic side, as I say, with the galactic side, the twin flames. If you're old souls, I'm going back to what I'm saying, as old souls, we will have had a galactic lifetime or experience, lifetimes in the from the galactic point of view. Horace and I also have our galactic names, and we have experienced stuff from the galaxies, and that goes beyond the time and space of the Earth. Okay, so technically, yes, we have the galactic side. So ancient souls will resonate to the term starseed, because starseeds, true starseeds, are ancient souls. So yes, I've seen Horus in light form. A lot of people have seen him in light form. I've seen Horus in galactic form, as well as different incarnations upon the earth. So yes, your spirit guide can actually come through, because what I've got from Horus, and it depends on how evolved you are as a medium and how evolved you are as a soul and your level of understanding. Well, Horus is actually, when he comes through, and I do transfiguration, he comes through when he's transfiguring, often or not, he will change forms over my face. So what he does, he builds a hologram over my face. So for the physical eye, you can actually see, yes, it's Elaine sitting there. Elaine's a medium. But then your third eye or your spiritual senses takes over your mediumship, your clairvoyance, your connection starts coming in, and you then will be able to see a hologram forming over my face, and you can, oh, she's becoming masculine. So I become masculine, and then the first thing they like, oh, it's masculine. And then they start seeing a face or features forming over my face, and then he changes like this, changes forms like this to the split of the second, and he's saying, well, this is me, this is my Akashic record, this is what I incarnated as. So this is what happens often or not. I do that when I'm doing stuff, when I'm doing workshops. I'm working on mentorship program, and stuff like this. Okay, Travis is saying, Elaine, can you talk a little bit about the 144 code starseeds and their higher selves in state of motherships as the New Jerusalem and other Ashtar commands? Right, okay, first and foremost, I'm going to say command, okay? The word command, okay, is third and fourth dimensional in nature. When you go up into the higher spheres, there is no such word as command. Okay? Look, define the word command. Okay? So there are no commands as such in the higher spheres. The New Jerusalem, okay, and I call it Jerusalem because New Jerusalem, Heru and Salam, okay, are very ancient in nature. So these are connected with Horus and his ancient forms. So the New Jerusalem is actually, yes, it's a mothership. It's like a mothership, but also the 144 is the encodement of the 144 cosmic code. Is a cosmic code, is a cosmic knowledge. That is something that ignites within the light workers, within Starseeds, and I'm saying this goes into every single human being. Okay, every human being carries the encodement of the 144. Okay, because the 144 is the code of Source itself. Okay, and the 144, okay, is what we must connect with in order to connect with our own divinity, our own cosmic selves. There is the motherships is something that we connect with, okay, as we connect up with the ethers. Okay, certainly as we're connecting out into the galaxy, because when we connect with our cosmic side, we then connect with what's going on into the galaxy. We have to understand, yes, there are physical forms within the galaxy itself, okay, but there's also the etherical side to the galaxy as well. Okay, and this is what we have to differentiate. So Ashtar command for me is a fourth, is very much a fourth dimensional term. Okay, which is astral plane stuff, which basically is the connection between the ethers and the physical. So this is where commands come into play. I tend to call them, when I connect up, it's about the connection to the high councils. So yes, we go into New Jerusalem, which is basically the New Jerusalem could be defined in many different ways within our spheres. The great mothership, the New Jerusalem, well, this beautiful Gaia Earth can be the New Jerusalem itself if we are, we want it to be. Okay, the New Jerusalem is a higher sphere. It is a higher sphere. It's actually the light ship, the mothership, that connects the whole of the cosmosverse, okay, and it brings in what you call the cosmic knowledge, okay. This is what I would define the New Jerusalem. We also have within the New Jerusalem different federations that come, so we're working with different star nations, different universes and so forth. And I don't know if that kind of understands, if that comes into an understanding for you all. But it is, it is about bringing that energy, because what I do is I tend to work spirit, which goes beyond the command level. I tend to connect with high councils, etheric councils and stuff like that. So command for me, I don't know, okay, that is 4D, because command, if you have to define the word, is a control mechanism. When we go into ethers, it's not about control, okay. So yes, there has to be a certain level of control at certain densities, and that is what I do recognize. So when we go, there are levels of frequencies, lower levels of densities and so forth. Ashtar is New Jerusalem. He's Heru, as in the New Jerusalem. He is the Lord Ashtar. That's who I work with. No, he's not fractalized. He's not fractalized into 144,000. He has his own pure Akashic record. He's pure being and a pure spirit. And basically, it's our understanding that we as souls and our higher selves all have a part to play in this ascension process. And us, as we are ascending upwards, we are also, you know, we then start aligning with our wider and our mind, body, spirit complex, and so forth. I'm gonna have to call it a day because one, my phone battery is going flat here, and I will come back to talk more. I'm loving doing these lives, and I'm hoping to come live at the weekend on Sunday to do a healing session. So I may come back again. Okay, so this is another thing. The Ashtar that you say about the TVs, that is a distortion. That is a distortion, Stephanie. That is what they define as Ashtar Sharon, the entity, and that is not Lord Ashtar. They're completely separate. So you need to have a listen to my live. Because the Lord Ashtar that came through a channel with a galactic suit, blonde hair, is not Lord Ashtar. That is Ashtar Sharon, as I've explained. Horus has actually said, yes, he knows the entity, feeling very much, he actually said about the great white ETs, the tall whites. So I'm gonna have I'm going to leave you I'm going to leave you all now with lots of love and blessings, and that is absolutely wonderful, Travis. Best bet with regards to the connection and alignment is about meditation, taking that time to meditate. That's why another metaphor of coming inside into our homes, is that taking that time to meditate, to connect, and so forth. So take that time to meditate and to connect, connect upwards. I'm going to leave you all now with lots of love and blessings. God bless you all. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.